Hi, today I wanted to talk about 3 things I have learned as a self-taught emerging artist. Now, I only committed to the goal of being a full-time artist back in February of this year. So I'm really new into this journey, though I have been creating art as a hobby for years. I think I started I did art as a child in elementary school and everything. And then during the first few years of college, the end of high school, I started getting more serious with watercolors. But in February, I decided I wanted to do my best to become a full-time artist. And so 3 things that I've learned during this time since February that I hope will be helpful to you are things that I've heard other people talk about, but not very practically, very ambiguously. So the first one that I wanted to mention is how to improve in painting. This is the first thing I've learned as I've been on this journey since February, is that the best way to improve in art is actually just sit down and create art. There's tons of tutorials that'll tell you this is what you need to do and that's what you need to do. And yeah, it's good to learn and watch tutorials, it's good to practice, but that practice is the key part. If you just consume the techniques and you don't try them out and spend more time behind the paintbrush or behind the pencil than you do consuming tutorials, it's not really going to help you improve your artwork. So the number one thing is spend time creating. The second thing that I've learned as I've been on this journey is it's a really tricky one. It's comparison. So comparison is a difficult one to stop doing because there are tons of amazing artists who create beautiful paintings and drawings. They choose styles and techniques and they have a history with their medium that I haven't had yet. And there's a danger when you compare your artwork to somebody else's, especially somebody who is farther along in their art journey than you are. It can be damaging to you because you'll get discouraged and you'll think, well, mine's not even half as good as theirs. I'm never going to succeed. I'm never going to get better. All of these lies come into our minds. So the challenge that I have learned and that I'm fighting to put into practice for myself is to stop comparing your work to other people's. The best way to change that is actually compare your old work to your new work. So I have an example here. This is one of the first paintings that I made. I think it was it was one of my first 4 that I did. It's got flowers and butterflies, kind of a theme in most of my work still. But I have grown a lot since this painting, so I'll show you a comparison. This is one I recently finished within the last couple weeks. Now, if you look at these, I'm not at a very good camera position to talk about this, but this one has a ton of depth to it compared to my yellow one. You can see a lot more detail and intricacies in this newer one, and this one's a little bit flatter. I mean, it's still pretty. I still like it, but you can tell that I've grown a lot as an artist between these 2 paintings. So it's a lot better to compare your old work to your new work because it's actually encouraging you. It's, oh wow, look how much I've grown. Look, I've improved in that area. And it can also be an assessment where you're like, okay, well, maybe I still need to grow in that area. Maybe it's composition, or maybe it's creating depth in the painting with darkness and light of layers. But it's really so much more beneficial to compare your own work to your own work. The last thing of the 3 main things that I've learned since becoming committed to this idea of being an artist is developing your style. I spent a lot of time researching how to find your style as an artist, watching videos, reading blogs, learning from amazing art teachers. And everyone was really vague about how to find your art style. A lot of people talked about it like this is some magical stage you level up to as an artist. And I haven't found that. I think I'm still finding my style, but the biggest thing that has helped me is to develop a process. So to me, when I think of somebody's style, it's it encapsulates a lot about how they create. It's their process, it's the subject matter that they use, sometimes it's the color palettes that they tend to do, it's even just the way they put down a pencil and a paintbrush. Like, I'll use my sister as an example. She's been drawing basically her whole life. If I saw one of her paintings, or one of her drawings lying around in a coffee shop and I walked by and I didn't know it was hers, I could tell it's hers, because the way she puts down her pencil marks, it's just unique to her. So there's even little bitty intricacies like that, just the way you lay down a paint on a paintbrush or graphite on paper, that's part of that style. So some of it like that you don't have to worry about at all. Just do your thing, just get practice with your paintbrush. But these others, developing a process, your subject matter, the colors, I wouldn't worry about the colors. I wouldn't really worry about the subject matter. The best thing I can say on that is just follow what is inspiring to you. I started with this, you can barely see it, but that purplish butterfly, and I've just kind of painted what's inspired me since then. And a lot of it's been flowers and butterflies, moths. I've got a bumblebee, as you saw in the yellow painting. But a lot of it, just follow what's inspiring you. Try different things, see what you like, see what was the most fun to paint and create. And then that last one, developing your process. This can be, do you prep a canvas? How do you prep a canvas? Do you start with washes? Do you start with glazes? How do you start your painting? How do you build up? Do you use layers? Do you paint it all while it's wet? Do you use mixed media materials? Those types of things, that's where you really get to experiment. And I've had a lot of fun doing this. And the best way I've gone about it is kind of simulating somebody else's process. Some of the artists that I follow, they'll show ideas of how to start a painting with maybe molding paste at the bottom, the very base part of your canvas. Just put molding paste all over, because it develops a little bit of texture that your paintbrush can work with later. And so I did that, just experimenting, and turns out I love it. I cannot stop myself from putting molding paste on the base of my canvas and then going from there. And so that's a simple thing, but just trying different things that you can incorporate into your process or use, try out, experiment. And a lot of that I find from not stealing, but copying somebody else's method of a certain thing. So that's the biggest thing I can say on finding your style. It goes back to the first point, the first thing I said that I've learned, which is the best way to improve is just paint. But this last one, finding your style as an artist, a lot of it's just time behind the paintbrush or the pen or the pencil, whatever your material is, and developing your process. What excites you when you sit down to paint? Is it exciting to you to see lots of textures? Is it exciting to you to play with lots of different materials in a mixed media? Is it exciting to you to keep it super simple with maybe 3 paints and that's all you use? Whatever excites you, just follow it, go into it. It's kind of an experiment. Artists are a little bit like scientists, and we just get to, our goal is to find what's exciting and inspiring and beautiful to us. So anyways, I hope that was helpful. These are the top 3 things that I've learned since February and committing to become a full-time artist. Let me know in the comments, what are some things you've learned? What do you think about these 3 things I've learned? And yeah, I'd love to get to know you. So thanks for your time. Bye.